On the gray, crowded docks of 17th century London, the air is thick with the smell of salt and the shouts of sailors. Captain John Smith, a man whose eyes have seen every corner of the map, boards the Susan Constant. Beside him stands Governor Ratcliffe, a man whose only map is one that leads to gold. "A new world," Ratcliffe proclaims, his voice dripping with greed. "A world where the ground is paved with yellow riches." Meanwhile, thousands of miles away, the sun breaks over the lush emerald canopy of Virginia. Here the air smells of pine and damp earth. Pocahontas, the daughter of Chief Powhatan, stands on the edge of a towering cliff. Below her, the river rushes like a wild horse. Her friend, the mischievous raccoon Miko, watches as she takes a deep breath and dives. She doesn't fall, she flies. When she surfaces, her father is waiting. He speaks of tradition, of the steady river, and of her future husband, Kokum, a warrior as stern and unmoving as a mountain. But Pocahontas looks at the swirling currents. "The river isn't steady," she whispers to herself. "It's always changing." She feels a strange vibration in the air, a sign that the world she knows is about to be reshaped by the wind. Seeking clarity, Pocahontas wanders into the deep, ancient woods where the light filters through the leaves like liquid gold. She reaches a secluded glade where the oldest tree in the forest resides, Grandmother Willow. The bark of the tree shifts, forming a wise, grandmotherly face. "Grandmother," Pocahontas sighs, "my father wants me to be like the river, steady. But my dreams are full of a spinning arrow. I don't know where I belong." Grandmother Willow chuckles, her leaves rustling like soft laughter. "Queque na Torah," she whispers. "Listen with your heart, child. You will understand." Suddenly, the wind picks up, carrying a strange scent, the smell of smoke and processed wood. On the horizon, massive white sails emerge like ghosts from the sea. The English ship has arrived. While the warriors of the Powhatan tribe gather their bows in suspicion, Pocahontas watches from the high branches. She sees the men landing, their metal armor clinking, their shovels striking the earth. Among them is Smith. He doesn't look like the others. He looks at the forest with wonder, not just hunger. The spinning arrow in Pocahontas's heart begins to point directly toward him. John Smith leaves the noisy construction of the English fort to explore the savage wilderness. He climbs a steep waterfall, his musket ready, sensing he is being tracked. He spins around, aiming his weapon at a shadow behind a veil of mist. But as the water clears, he freezes. Standing there is Pocahontas. She does not run, she does not attack. Her eyes are filled with a fierce curiosity that stops Smith in his tracks. He slowly lowers his gun, realizing that civilization has nothing to do with the grace he sees before him. He reaches out a hand, but they cannot speak. The silence is heavy, filled only with the roar of the waterfall. Pocahontas remembers Grandmother Willow's words. "Listen with your heart." She closes her eyes, feeling the vibration of the earth and the wind. Slowly, the strange sounds of the Englishman's tongue begin to make sense. "Who are you?" he asks softly. "Pocahontas," she replies, her voice steady. For a moment, the two worlds stop spinning. They are no longer a colonizer and a native. They are two souls standing in the mist, realizing that the stranger is not an enemy, but a mystery waiting to be solved. The two begin to talk, but Smith's words reveal his ignorance. He speaks of improving the land, of building roads and teaching the people who live there. He calls them savages without realizing the weight of the word. Pocahontas smiles, a sad but beautiful expression. "You think you own whatever land you land on," she says. "The earth is just a dead thing you can claim." She takes his hand and pulls him into a run. They race through the high grass, past the dens of wolves and the soaring heights of eagles. She shows him that every rock, every tree, and every creature has a spirit, a name, and a life. She teaches him that wealth isn't gold dug from the ground, but the colors of the wind, the interconnectedness of all living things. Smith watches as she talks to the animals and listens to the rain. His world of maps and muskets feels small and cold compared to this. By the time they reach the top of a mountain, looking out over the endless green expanse, Smith is changed. He no longer wants to conquer this world. He wants to be a part of it. He sees the beauty he was sent to destroy.
While Pocahontas and Smith find peace in the forest, the rest of the world is screaming for war. Inside the English fort, Ratcliffe is growing manic. His men have dug massive holes in the earth, but they find no gold, only mud. "They are hiding it," Ratcliffe screams, pointing toward the native village. "The heathens have the gold, and they are keeping it for themselves." He orders his men to arm themselves with cannons and rifles. In the Powhatan village, the mood is equally dark. Chief Powhatan sees the destruction of the trees and the muddying of the waters. He sees the pale faces because of virus. Kokum rallies the warriors, their war paint bright against their skin. "They do not respect the land, and they will not respect us," Kokum declares. Pocahontas returns home to find her people preparing for battle. She tries to speak to her father, to tell him that not all the strangers are bad, but the chief's heart is hardened by fear. The drums begin to beat, a low, rhythmic thud that echoes through the valley. It is the sound of two cultures closing their eyes and ears to one another, preparing for a tragedy that feels inevitable. That night, Pocahontas and Smith meet in secret in Grandmother Willow's grove. They know the time is running out. "If you talk to your people and I talk to mine, we can stop this," Smith says desperately. They share a brief, tragic kiss, a symbol of the harmony that could have been. But they are not alone. Kokum, consumed by jealousy and a desire to protect Pocahontas, has followed her. Seeing her with the enemy, he lets out a war cry and lunges at Smith with a stone knife. At the same time, Thomas, a young, nervous settler sent by Ratcliffe to find Smith, watches from the bushes. Terrified and acting on instinct, Thomas raises his musket and fires. The shot echoes like thunder. Kokum falls, the life leaving him as he touches the earth. The silence that follows is deafening. Native warriors emerge from the shadows instantly. They see the dead warrior and the Englishman with the gun. They seize John Smith, dragging him away in chains. Pocahontas cries out, but it is too late. The spark has been lit, and the entire forest is about to go up in flames. The sun rises blood red over the cliffside. The two armies meet in the valley below. On the high ledge, John Smith is forced to his knees. Chief Powhatan raises a massive stone club, his face a mask of grief and rage. "For our fallen brother!" he cries. Below, the English soldiers aim their rifles, waiting for the signal to fire. Just as the club begins its descent, a shadow streaks across the ground. Pocahontas throws herself over Smith's body, her head resting against his chest. The club stops inches from her skull. The entire world holds its breath. "If you kill him, you must kill me too," she says, her voice echoing across the valley. She looks her father in the eye. "This is where the path of hate has led us. Look around you." Powhatan looks at his daughter, then at the trembling soldiers below, and finally at the beauty of the morning he was about to stain with blood. His hands shake. Slowly he lowers the club. "My daughter speaks with a wisdom beyond her years,"
he announces. "The killing ends here." He releases Smith, and for a moment it seems that peace has finally won.
But the peace is fragile. From the back of the English lines, Ratcliffe realizes his power is slipping. "Fire!" he screams, but the men refuse. Enraged, he grabs a rifle and aims it at Chief Powhatan. John Smith sees the movement and leaps in front of the chief. The bullet tears into Smith's chest. The settlers, disgusted by Ratcliffe's cowardice, tackle the governor and put him in chains. Smith survives, but his wound is deep and turning sour. He must return to England if he is to live. As the ship prepares to depart, Smith looks at Pocahontas. "Come with me," he pleads. Pocahontas looks at her father, who nods his blessing, and then she looks at the mountains, the river, and her people. She knows her place. She is the bridge between two worlds, and a bridge must be anchored to the ground. "I am needed here," she says softly. She watches from the high cliff as the Susan Constant sails into the horizon. She raises her hand, the wind swirling around her, carrying the spirits of the forest. The ship fades into the mist, but the connection remains, a reminder that though they are worlds apart, they will always see the same colors in the wind.